Hello everyone, my name is PJ Marshall, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys about the exponential parent functions. But before we dive into the real meat and potatoes of this graphing formula, I wanted to get into the equation you are going to be using in order to find the answer to your problems. So starting from left to right on the top left of my screen where the letters are all at, each one gives a different, or each one plays a different role into shifting the line either up, down, left way, sideways, all around and up and down and all around. So as you guys can see with the letter A here, pay attention to the slider. Depending on where it's either in the negative area or the positive area, it'll either not shift, but either curve the line up or curve the line down. So let's just leave it in the positive area, and let's just leave it at +5. So as for B, this pretty much controls either how, trying to think of the right word here, stroking out, how the curve is either going to be on one side or the other. Depending if it's negative, it'll be on the right, and if it's positive, it'll be on the left. Now, as for the H function, this shifts the slope left or right, and depending on whether it is negative or positive respectively, it'll shift in the opposite direction. Now, as for K, this is what shifts it up and down. So if it is positive, it'll shift it up, and if it is negative, it'll shift it down. So that's pretty much a quick little summary on the function you are probably going to be using. Let's just get these aligned as best as possible. Let's not try to obscure the whole thing. Okay. So let's talk about domain, range, the asymptote, the continuous, if it is or not, and the y and x intercepts. So pretty much, although it's not doing the best on here to show it, oh, my bad. Let's just start off with the domain and the x. Did I say intercept? My bad. I meant to say the intercept. Kind of stroked out there, but. So starting with domain, let's just get real and simple and right to the point. No matter what number you choose, or no matter what functions you may have, like your functions, it might be the whole x, y grid. You might just have some simple numbers from either -2 through 2. No matter what number you choose, this domain part right here will never reach 0. It will never touch it. No matter how big or no matter how small the number is, it will never touch the x-axis of the graph. It'll always stay either just barely above it, but it will always, try to either go into like the decimal range as of right there. Now let's try to zoom out and not break the computer. So you might just say as a coordinate for the domain on your graph, you don't have an x-intercept. So as for the coordinate, it'll be somewhere around the -infinity, depending on which side it's going. So if we go back to B, I believe, yeah. If we go back to B, hopefully it doesn't, crap out on my screen. But it'll either be positive or -infinity because it will never touch the x-axis. Now, as for range, that is very similar to the domain. This is the range right here, the vertical. Think vertical when you think range, and think horizontal when you think domain. When range comes into play, it'll always have a y-intercept of 1. Now, of course, sadly, this isn't showing there because I have, random points jotted all over the line, but take my word for it, is that it'll always end up hitting around the 0.1 range as your coordinate, and it will always keep going higher and higher no matter how big the number is. So that is similar to domain. So your coordinate might as well be 0, infinity, or -infinity, depending on which side you are there you go. negative infinity. So as for your asymptote, the x-axis, I probably should have said this with domain, but your x-axis will be y equals 0. So yeah, that's pretty much the exponential parent function. The only thing that makes things different is when you do have numbers to plug in. Sadly, I'm holding my phone and recording this. My computer doesn't have a screen recording function because it is very old and very slow. But pretty much the numbers that you decide to plug in will always shift it, either up or down and all around. So like, let's say k was 8, and see how that shifted up. And you might have different spots depending on where like your graph is at. So that was not a good number to put there. So like, let's say like 6. Oh, I just messed up the whole graph up, but thankfully there's a redo button, I presume. There we go. But yeah, the only thing that'll change and something that will give you points is depending on whether you have actual points, like it says in my script right here. So depending on like the different types of points that you have on your graph, that is the only thing that will be changed in terms of giving you, coordinates to show you, okay, it seems to be going here all the way down to there. So yeah, that is exponential parent functions. Hope you guys found this helpful.